Genshin Impact finally did something better than Wuthering Waves, and I'm being serious when I say this. TTV, Ian the Script, and we're live almost every single day. I wanted to touch on Capturing Radiance.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it.
And I wanted to discuss the positives of Capturing Radiance, because I think that in the midst of all of us being frustrated of how Hoyoverse communicated Capturing Radiance, it overall is a good mechanic, and I want to shed some light on that. So if you don't know what Capturing Radiance is, a quick TLDR, Capturing Radiance is like a safety net. So what happens is that if you lose a certain amount of 50-50s, it is going to guarantee you that the next time you're supposed to lose a 50-50, it will be a 5-star that is the limited banner, as opposed to you losing to your D-Luke for the 500th time, right? And so this is great. I believe, to my understanding, it's after your fourth 50-50 loss, it will 100% activate. On your third 50-50 loss, it's a 75% chance, roughly. Your second 50-50 loss, it's like super minuscule. It's probably never happening. And then I don't even think that could activate on your first. Maybe it can, but the odds are super small. But as time goes on, it increasingly gets better. And that's not even necessarily a bad thing. Genuinely, it's really not too horrible. So what was the point of contention? Why did people, myself, and a lot of other content creators speak out about this? Well, it's the way, in classic Hoyoverse fashion, they communicated this. So if you look right here, it says, is this really a thing? Doesn't mean the boosted drop rate will be higher in the future. Yes, the Capturing Radiance mechanic is triggered by chance, including the possibility of triggering Capturing Radiance when winning a 5-star character in the event Wish. There's a consolidated probability of 55 cents. It will be the promotional character. Listen, I'm just going to be transparent with you. There is about 30 million plus active monthly players on this video game. They don't know what consolidated probability is, and most of them are not going to look it up. So when they read that, they initially think that it's a 55-45. And now you could feign ignorance and say maybe that's the player's fault, but also it's pretty easy for the company to not take 6 to 7 months to update their standards. So if you look over here, this dropped in about August 16th. The company updated here on February 10th. We would like to clarify some questions from the travelers regarding Capturing Radiance. The base probability of triggering Capture Radiance is 0.018%. Includes the possibility of triggering Capturing Radiance. When winning a 5-star character in the event Wish, there's a consolidated probability of 55% it will be the promotional character. If the promotional character is the second 5-star character you obtain on 3 consecutive occasions, the Capturing Radiance mechanic is guaranteed to be triggered the next time. So it's pretty much telling you here, it is guaranteed on your fourth 50-50 loss. Now again, it shouldn't have taken them that long to update this. A lot of players felt duped. They felt silly. They're like, dude, I don't understand. Like, why is this not occurring? And so you can't really be mad at them. I'm sorry that you're just being silly if you are blaming the players for this. However, with that being said, putting it to the side, I'm absolutely overlooking the horrendous communication that Hoyoverse has. This is still a very good mechanic. There is no negatives to providing players with a way to eventually guarantee that they will get a character. I'm going to pull up an example right here of an account that hasn't won a 50-50. So if we look here, this is my girlfriend's account, right? And so she loses a 50-50 to Ling Yang. She then gets Shorekeeper at High Pity. She loses again, gets Verena, then gets Jian, loses, Camilla, loss, character, loss, gets back-to-back win. Very surprising. Great job, babe. Love you for that. Loss, win, loss. I mean, well, it's not a win. It's a guarantee. So there's only one 50-50 win here in a large period of time. If we want to count it up, right? This would be 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. That's 6. So after 6 50-50s, my girlfriend was finally able to get a win, right? And this is discouraging. It's rough for free-to-play players, and it's honestly, it just makes you feel stinky. It makes you feel stupid and greedy, as Mr. Pokey said. Welcome back, guys. Mr. Pokey here. Today we're talking about, right? And so Capturing Radiance will just provide more chances for people to pull, and honestly, more incentives for people to pull. If you know, like, all right, I lost my second 50-50, but now my third and fourth are potentially, I won't lose those. That honestly, I think, incentivizes people to spend money, but it also makes it feel like their time is more respected. There's tons of creators, there's tons of community members, again, even my girlfriend, who have just lost 50-50s after 50-50s. And the system itself sucks, right? I think we could all agree 50-50 systems are pretty shitty, right? And they're never going to remove it. They're not going to remove it from Genshin. They're not going to remove it from any of these Hoyo games that are currently out, because this is their fundamental way of making money. So instead of asking for a Lamborghini and a new yacht, what you could do is simply ask for a Capturing Radiance mechanic. Now, how would I want it to personally work in Wuthering Waves? Well, I think it's actually pretty simple. I think they absolutely can just strictly strip it right from Genshin. All games copy Hoyoverse, and they copy the negatives. I want someone to copy the positive, right? Now, again, as I read before, it says it's a promotional 5-star character is the second 5-star character you obtain on 3 consecutive occasions. Capturing Radiance mechanic is guaranteed to be triggered on the next time you obtain a 5-star, right? So it would be on the 4th one. Now, if you want to play with the odds and make, like, I'm not a math guy, right? So whatever the odds you want to do, you want to make it the 4th is 100%, the 3rd is 75, like the same thing from Genshin. I think that's fine. I think with Koro Games, they'll probably communicate how this works a lot better and off rip and really make it a lot smoother of a process. But again, we have to be honest. This is not a bad mechanic. And you would just benefit. Players would benefit from this, and I think it would make them more money. I really do. I think this would be something great. The other thing that I think you could tie into this a little bit, now maybe this is going to a little bit of the dream territory, you know what I'm saying? But if they're not going to do a Capturing Radiance mechanic, I think it's fair, man, that I think these games start including who you lose your 50-50 to. Now, I think there's no reason why you personally can't add both, personally. I just feel like Capturing Radiance along with who you lost your 50-50 to, I think those can go really hand in hand with each other. Not only does it lessen the blow of losing the 50-50 because you're guaranteed after the 3 or 4s, but you also know when losing the 50-50, okay, it's not that bad. I'm going to get my C6 Varina. I'm going to get a C6 Colchero for whatever reason, right? So I think that these mechanisms could really help. And by losing your 50-50, if I can select a Varina and make sure that that is the character that I get or lessen the pool, I think that is the wave. And I'm hoping in which that a lot of units do this. Now, I know Star Rail has something coming a little bit similar. We don't know the full depths of how this is going to work yet. I believe, to my knowledge, you're able to pick like 7 characters or something, and it just expands the pool as opposed to you selecting it. And I think a selector would be fine. They already spent their money. They already lost. Let them select a character, right? I think that's fair. I think fair is fair. So yeah, I really hope Koro Games sees this and actually takes this into account, because again, you're never going to change the 50-50 system. I think they'll never change Echoes. I'm going to be honest with that. I kind of lose faith on that. And I get it. I understand it. And they have to make money. But I think this will genuinely help the player base and just increase more morale. And you'll probably get people saying, you know, like, oh, Genshin can never, even though Genshin started it. But it's a positive change Genshin made. And then their communication and how they presented it is absolutely slimy horse shit that you got to have like fucking 3 PhDs to decipher. But at the end of the day, it is a good mechanic. I hope Woolwood takes it. With that being said, I love you. I'll see you in the next one.